Welcome. I'm Kathy McCabe, Chair of the Trustees of the Spartanburg County Foundation.
And I'm Troy Hanna, President and CEO of the Spartanburg County Foundation.
On behalf of the rest of our trustees and the staff, it's our privilege to welcome you to the Foundation's 2024 film, Reflecting Community. For 80 years, the Foundation has been improving the lives of Spartanburg County residents by promoting philanthropy, encouraging community engagement, and responding to our community needs. In this film, we reflect upon the work that serves to meet this mission.
80 years ago, Walter Montgomery saw establishing a community foundation as building a reservoir of benevolent resources for our community. In the 80 years since, this community has built the reservoir he envisioned. The Spartanburg County Foundation, the first community foundation in South Carolina, has provided its donors and fund holders with the structure and support to ensure a consistent flow of resources into Spartanburg County, all toward the goal of improving lives across our community. We must also make sure that our work reflects the interests of the community we serve. Join us now for a look into our work, our impact, and the many ways we are reflecting community.
The Foundation's work to support our community takes professional staff members who are committed to our mission.
They work in teams to manage finances and investments, meet donor needs, plan events.
And remember, the Foundation provides workspace for nonprofits in the Center for Philanthropy.
And we can't forget the Gallery of Philanthropy. The exhibits are really exciting.
Let's meet the team. Bert, why don't you share with me some of the fund types that we have here at the Foundation?
Well, Kathy, we have lots of different fund types at the Foundation because we have so many different unique types of fund holders. One of the most unique types of funds that we have are called supporting organizations.
And what I like about those supporting organizations is that they're independent organizations. And the cool thing is that they're under the umbrella of the Foundation. And as a result of that, the Foundation can do a lot of their administrative work for them, and they can do the work they do best out in our community in the trenches.
You're right, and they're very popular and successful. Let's take a look at one of those supporting organizations now.
The Noble Tree Foundation was created by Mr. Millick in 1999. From day one, I've been involved with it.
The mission of Noble Tree was to promote the excellence of landscaping and horticulture in Spartanburg County to enhance the well-being of the people who live here. I think we've done that very well over the past 24 years.
The Spartanburg County Foundation sets up and does all of our auditing and our correspondence and tax reports. We do all of our own fundraising, and we have a great working relationship.
Noble Tree, it's a citizens organization, it's a volunteer organization. I like the fact that Noble Tree is focused solely on Spartanburg County, the residents of Spartanburg County.
One of the first projects was on Heron Circle, doing that planning. Then we decided to do Converse Heights. Converse Heights is a much larger neighborhood, 688 acres.
I grew up in the Converse Heights community, and my mother grew up in the Converse Heights community, and my grandparents bought a house on Otis and Pine Street back in the late 1900s. My brother was on the Noble Tree Foundation with Mr. Milliken. They came up with an idea with the Converse Heights Neighborhood Association to do a replanting of the trees.
It started out in concept that the neighborhood was going to be 100 years of age. We wanted to install tree species that would have the potential to live another 100 years. There's always going to be an urban forest here. You need to have diversity. We've got to have canopy trees, we've got to have some understory trees. We want to have a mixture of flowering trees. I hope that other communities would pick up on that theme of planting diversity. This was by far the largest project that I had ever been involved in. I know I'll look back at the end of my career as being one of the projects I'm most proud of.
This type of project has been on the minds of many for a long time because we've lost so many of our historic trees that were planted over 100 years ago. Specifically with the tornado of 2020, we lost lots of our big oaks. So people have been really excited to get these trees in the ground and bring this type of project to fruition so that the next generation can grow up with these trees. And these will soon, one day, be the historic trees that we started with.
There's research that shows that trees in cities can reduce energy usage in homes by up to 15%, drop temperature inside the cities and inside the canopy by as much as 10 degrees. There's a lot of values there from an energy perspective and a heating perspective. There's also values with stormwater runoff, benefits to wildlife, birds, insects, so forth. There's a lot beyond just the beautification that provides both economic and ecological benefits to the city.
We work with city, county, and state government officials. We work with schools and colleges. We work with neighborhood organizations. We work with garden clubs. We work with philanthropic organizations. There are many grants that the Noble Tree Foundation has made in the last 23 years.
The Noble Tree Foundation set a goal of planting 1,000 trees on the campuses of schools in Spartanburg County. As of April of this year, we planted 729, and about 75 more are planned for the upcoming planting season. Because of the educational component of it, students from kindergarten through grade 12 are directly involved in this tree planting aspect.
We know that with these trees, we're going to have more shade in the heat of the summer. We're going to have improved air quality and water quality. And we know that with trees comes increased mental health. And with increased mental health, there is a decrease in criminal activity. Making a small difference in this community will hopefully snowball into more communities.
Over the past 24 years, we've planted over 5,000 trees and shrubs, and we've invested over $2.5 million in those planting efforts back into the community.
It's exciting to see the long-term impact of the work of the foundation in our community, and let's hope it lasts for generations and generations to come.
Absolutely. But beyond providing essential support for organizations like the Noble Tree Foundation, we also support nonprofit organizations that provide direct services throughout the county.
That's right, Lynn. The only direct services we provide are to our donors and our fund holders. Beyond that, we support our nonprofits through the gifts our donors make to them. And we are so fortunate in our community that we have hundreds of nonprofits who are out there day in, day out, doing the hard work to support our citizens who need help.
Yes, and the foundation supports those nonprofits in so many ways. We offer Nonprofit Connect, technical assistance sessions, and even a nonprofit capacity boot camp, because they need to be strong and they need to be stable to do the work in our community that's so important to all of us.
Boot camp really came about through a conversation almost 2 years ago now with Kathy Rivers at Spartanburg County And she and Mary Thomas and Earl Alexander, also at the county, they were having conversations about the need to build the capacity of nonprofits, particularly rural and smaller nonprofits in Spartanburg County. And we also partnered with Dr. Mark Small at the Institute on Family and Neighborhood Life at Clemson University, and he was our lead facilitator, and he has a deep knowledge of Spartanburg County nonprofits. Something that I was surprised about is just the range of organizations that were interested. You have some that have been in Spartanburg long term, but they may have had some major organizational changes or looking to regroup and really focus on the structure of the organization and grow from there, as well as newer organizations and directors that are just coming into the field and really want to set a strong foundation for their organization moving forward.
Collectively, we thought about it as a boot camp to try and convey the sense that there's going to be some real work done to transform these organizations. And so we put together a curriculum, and then this is our second year, and it's been really successful. The nonprofit organizations that are either emerging or established today are much better positioned than they were 20 years ago, where 20 years ago it may have been a lot more individual, solo, charismatic executive directors moving things forward. Now I think there's a sense anyway that almost all this work has to be collaborative and collective. There has to be some common vision to meet the needs of the community.
I was rebranding as LifeWorks SC, a 501c3, as of this year, so it was the perfect timing for me. We represent people who are living in poverty or from an impoverished background. So we provide educational resources, career guidance as well with apprenticeships, and we also assist those who have a conviction in their past with understanding their human rights, going from the mission, the vision, making sure everything's aligned. We had the Secretary of State's office here, making sure that you actually record your financial information, you share it with the state because that helps you with funders. They need to be able to look you up online and see your financial history. It's very difficult for individuals who start a business, let alone a nonprofit, to get the knowledge and skills that they need for it to be sustainable. So having this serve as that boot camp that catapults you and provides you with this injection of resources is critical for a lot of us to be successful and to make connections in our community.
I am very fortunate that I have been involved in the nonprofit realm in Spartanburg for the past 16 years. We all participate in stakeholder engagement. We all find ways to include our board members, our volunteers, our customers, but I wasn't looking at it from the scale that I needed to. We all love the mantra, go big or go home, but sometimes taking small bites out of things is an easier way to go. So I've looked at the perspective of stakeholder engagement to do one-on-one versus trying to do it on a mass scale. We learned about your positioning statement and how you're communicating that to our markets and what our target audiences are.
I'm very proud of Spartanburg County Foundation for taking the leadership to recognize that one of the best ways to serve the county is to serve the organizations that are meeting the needs of the most vulnerable populations where they're at.
Supporting our nonprofits just makes sense when our goal is to improve the lives across Spartanburg County. These organizations know where our needs are, and they're equipped to meet those needs.
So it's important that we provide learning opportunities, networking, and connections with experts to help them grow.
And those same things are what small businesses need. And for that reason, we started the Minority Business Connect. Building small businesses is so important to our economy here in Spartanburg County.
Let's share more about our Minority Business Connect initiative.
Minority Business Connect is a safe place for small business owners, entrepreneurs to learn, share, and connect with their fellow business owners in Spartanburg County. Minority Business Connect would not be what it is without the commitment of Spartanburg County government. When this initiative first started, there was a gap in social capital. We really want to build a camaraderie among peers so they feel like they're not alone and they can build their social capital. We have those intimate and deep conversations. How do you build yourself as a business owner when you are maybe the janitor, the CPA, everything, the graphic designer? They're learning from a CPA to how to write a business grant or even how to do a simple budget. How do you know your SWOT analysis? That's your strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. As a business owner, you have to know all of these things to be efficient. The great thing about Minority Business Connect, we allow that flexibility for business owners. Come to a session that piques your interest, and it's free of charge. You also have other organizations like Power Up in the funding area. We all are part of that big ecosystem in Spartanburg County for helping small businesses to grow. Small business across our county all need different type of resources and all enter in the ecosystem at different parts and different times. Minority businesses grow our community, they sustain our community, but most importantly, they invest in our community.
States of Talent is a talent agency. We represent actors, models, and voiceover artists on a professional level in the entertainment industry. We started this business by helping our son use his talents and take him from the school plays at Westview Elementary to the Chapman Cultural Center, now all the way to national shows. We're one of the few talent agencies in the state. When we started, we didn't have a whole group of other business owners that we felt we could connect with. If you have a place that you can go to and they're gonna bring in other minority businesses that I can connect with, and even if the person I meet can't help me, chances are they know someone that can. Even if they don't want my service or my product, they know someone that does. So there's definitely a need for this. The Minority Business Connect has given us a lot of the social capital that we need. It's opened a lot of doors. I'm at Community Works at your networking event. I remember that day, the mayor was here, Alan from One Spartanburg was here, and they were all talking about, hey, we have all this, capital available. You guys just need to tap into it. I ended up applying for a grant, and because, we had our ducks in a row, we ended up getting a $10,000 grant. That was substantial for us. We're proud of the progress that we make right here from Spartanburg to be able to take local talent and give them a shot at using their skills, their talents on a national level. I think that would be a success story for Minority Business Connect.
It's exciting to see the impact in the Minority Business Connect.
Helping build our community's economic development strength is something the foundation does on multiple levels. In 2023, we launched a new partnership with Abundance Capital that allows our fund holders to invest in the community in a whole different way. Impact investing is something I really wanted to see us do, and I'm very proud of this new partnership being launched.
And as a fund holder, I appreciate that the foundation strives to grow our funds so that we'll have more resources to put back into the community.
Let's see more about the foundation as a fiduciary.
At the Spartanburg County Foundation, we take very seriously the trust that has been placed in us to manage and to preserve and protect and grow community assets. We are holding assets for both donors as well as nonprofit organizations. Nonprofits are seeking to project their costs, their spending, their budget. We provide them the tools to be able to do that, while at the same time, a donor may be willing to accept more risk for potentially more return in the portfolio. A donor may also be looking at a long-term strategy with their philanthropic investments, where a nonprofit is spending from their fund to accomplish their goals and their mission. We held our most recent request for proposals for our investment consultant in 2020. We invested 9 months with our subcommittee in exploring and best practice around ensuring that our investment consultant was the right choice for the management of the funds entrusted to the foundation.
All my career, I've been in the investment management business and in New York City. Currently, I'm mostly retired, but I still do some consulting. I was asked to be on the Investment Advisory Committee. The job of the Investment Advisory Committee is to oversee all of the investments of the foundation. The Investment Advisory Committee, according to the guidelines for the foundation, periodically reviews our investment consultants. And in 2000, the Investment Advisory Committee was tasked with doing a very thorough search with the thought that we might hire a new investment consulting firm. We got back probably several thousand pages of performance and other information, of which we did dutifully review. We discovered something that we weren't aware of at the beginning, that the best foundations endowments were using a new investment approach called the outsourced chief investment officer approach.
As the outsourced chief investment officer, our job is to develop, implement, and monitor the investment program for the foundation. The firm was founded in 1988, and one of the early groups with whom we worked was the community foundations. Today we have over $7 billion in assets in the community foundation space, and that's spread out across the country.
Spartanburg County Foundation is a very engaged group, and there is very strong collaboration. Since we've started under this new OCIO model, we've broadened the pool offerings to give a little bit more choice to donors, moving from a single pool structure to now a longer-term growth pool, a money market pool, talking about other ideas potentially down the road as well. We think that's been a positive evolution, really in response to the needs of the donor base in the broader community.
When we are building investment programs, we'll write an investment policy statement in conjunction with the investment committee, ultimately approved by the board. We'll look for managers that align with our missions and the missions of the foundation, things like independence and fee sensitive and a fee structure that aligns with the success of the program. And so we'll implement the program and do ongoing monitoring of it.
We view the investment policy statement as the long-term roadmap for the portfolio. It helps to set the risk parameters and overall risk profile of the respective pools and assets. To get there, it's a very collaborative process. It's not, an off-the-shelf type model. The OCIO model affords us the ability to be nimble and act quickly if we see dislocations or specific opportunities in markets. We rebalance a portfolio frequently depending on market movements. We also support Troy and his team on the administrative side of things as well.
We do charge administrative fees at the Spartanburg County Foundation, which are fees for service that are invested ultimately back into the community, with our being a nonprofit, unlike other managers in this space. We also take very seriously our schedule of reviews. One of those reviews that we consistently measure is our fee assessment to peers and to other providers. The Spartanburg County Foundation in 2020 did an exhaustive study through Fund Evaluation Group, and we determined for every fund type that we offer at the Spartanburg County Foundation, our fees were less than the national providers for the same deliveries. We also determined overall our fees were 25% less than other peer providers throughout the country. So we feel confident that we are being good stewards of the funds that have been entrusted to us at the Spartanburg County Foundation.
Our donors are very fortunate because they can choose to have part of their assets at the foundation in the moderate pool, the growth pool. They can go back and forth. And there's always someone at the foundation that's willing to sit down and talk with you specifically about what might be best for your money. As stakeholders, I think you can have a great deal of confidence in the new approach that the foundation has taken, the amount of time and thought that was put into developing our new approach for managing the assets and for our stewardship of the assets.
In 2023, I'm pleased to announce that the money market pool performed at a positive 4.98%. In 2023, the moderate pool performed at a positive 13.3%, and the growth pool in 2023 for year-end performed at a positive 17.7%. We are pleased to announce these performance numbers and know the great good that they will do within the community, both for donors and for our nonprofits.
When our investment strategies yield those kinds of results, and we provide our donors more opportunities to make a difference in our community, we're all working together to improve the lives of Spartanburg County residents.
Indeed, we are. And what makes this work so exciting is that each donor can make the decision on how they put their money back into the community.
Let's take a look at what some of them are doing.
I opened the Institute for Youth Justice Fund to support the institute that helps provide leadership training, education, and support for youth who are interested in making a positive difference in their communities.
I opened the Eye Opener Cross Country Fund to support the operation of the Eye Opener Cross Country Meet that supports collegiate and high school cross country athletes.
I opened the Sea House Brown Girls Read Fund to support the maintenance and operation of the Sea House with the Spartanburg County Historical Association, to bring in tourism for the district and to include programming for Brown Girls Read for girls 7 to 17 years of age to expand their ability to read well.
I opened the Thomas R. Young III Scholarship Fund to provide scholarships for graduating high school students who are pursuing higher education to benefit the children or grandchildren of young office employees.
As a representative of the Omegas of Spartanburg, I opened the Omegas of Spartanburg Uplift Center Fund to support the renovation, repairs, and operations of the Uplift Center in the former Dean Street School, the oldest African-American school and the oldest school in Spartanburg County.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Spartanburg, I opened the Rotary Club's Spartanburg Sings Fund. This fund supports the annual countywide Spartanburg Sings Middle School Choral Concert, which provides financial support for the Rotary Club's at-risk youth programs.
I opened Catalyst for P-Cube Fund to support the STEAM It Up initiative that provides individualized academic support services, life coaching, and retreats. These experiences help individuals to find their purpose, persevere through the messy middle of transformation, and be prepared to serve as productive community members. STEAM It Up engages, empowers, and equips participants to reach beyond their limitations.
I opened this fund to honor my son, Matthew James McCleskey, whose first love was being on the water, fishing. Matthew valued education and wanted to help anglers receive a college education and fish at the same time. This scholarship is devoted for anglers on the Dorman High School bass fishing team.
I opened the Humanity Fund in response to my readers who want to support organizations that provide services to assist with everyday societal issues such as community development, championing women, children's advocacy, supporting minorities, and promoting literacy.
Collectively, our fund holders make a tremendous difference in our community.
And that was a look at just a few of our fund holders, of which we have more than 1,100 that the foundation supports managing their assets and providing administration.
And these fund holders, they issue grants in our community day in and day out to take care of the needs that we have in our community.
And sometimes they make grants or contributions back into unique funds at the foundation that are for a specific purpose that they're passionate about in our community.
But if they don't want to make a grant to one of those funds, they can always give money to the Community Impact Fund.
Anybody can make a contribution to the Community Impact Fund in any amount at any time and know that they're doing something positive to support the future of Spartanburg.
Thank you for joining us for this journey, reminding us all how our community foundation works to improve the lives of Spartanburg County residents.
Whether you've been part of this work for years or just learning about what we do, we encourage you to join us as we continue promoting philanthropy, encouraging community engagement, and responding to community needs together.